Did you know that a seemingly harmless habit may be leaving you a step towards losing control of your erection? Well, this phrase may seem exaggerated, but the truth is that thousands of men are right now making a mistake that seems small, but is silently undermining their power, their trust, their virility. And the frightening thing is that the vast majority don't even suspect it. They think everything is right, until the day they realize that the body no longer responds as before, that desire has diminished, that erection is weaker, that performance has fallen. And here comes the question, is it just stress? Is it the age? Or is it your lifestyle that is detonating your intimate health? In this video, we will talk directly about something that most men avoid facing. But you are here, and it already shows that you are ready to hear the truth, because this truth can change your sex life for the better, or if ignored, can take you to the bottom of the well. What is at stake here is not just your performance in bed. It is your self-esteem, your security, your feeling of being a man. Many men are losing all this because they insist on habits that silently sabotage the functioning of the penis and all male sexual health. Make no mistake, your body speaks, and he starts to give signals long before the full failure. That difficulty to maintain erection, the longer time to recover after a relationship, the diminished will, the discouragement, the insecurity, all this can be the foreshadowing of something more serious. Your penis, like any other organ in your body, needs health to work well. And if you are feeding badly, sedentary, stressed, sleeping little, living in the automatic, ignoring your mental and physical health, then it is a matter of time until you start paying the price. And do you know what the problem is? Most men only look for help when you can no longer hide, when the partner notices, when frustration accumulates, when the shame has already taken over. And all this could be avoided if more men had access to this kind of information you are about to hear. Therefore, pay close attention to what comes next, because the mistake you may be making, this error that looks small but has the potential to end your sex life, will be exposed in this video. And when I say it is over, I'm talking about a direct impact on your performance, your erection, and of course your masculinity. There is no winding here. We go straight to the point, with clear language, with facts, with explanations that you will understand without having to be a doctor. And most importantly, you will find out what is behind this silent problem that is affecting younger men. Yes, it's not just a 60 or 70-year-old men problem. There are a lot of men 30, 35 facing sexual failures and not understanding the reason. He thinks it is anxiety, but it is actually the body asking for help and being ignored. So stay with me until the end of this video, because what comes next can literally save your intimate health. And now take the opportunity to comment below, "I'm aware," or "I want to know what I'm doing wrong," just for me to know that you are here with me, firm and willing to change. Let's go together in this, because the next minute can be a watershed in your sex life. And if you are here so far, it is because you know that your sexual health matters, that ignoring the signs is no longer an option, that leaving it later can cost much more than a few minutes of attention. It can cost your trust, your intimacy, your relationship, and, in more serious cases, even your emotional health. It is therefore essential that you absorb this content to the end. And more than that, to put it into practice. Because it's no use just listening. You need to act. You need to turn this information into attitude. You need to turn the key. And look, if this video is making sense to you, if you are opening your eyes to things that no one has ever explained to you, then do the following. Leave your like now, because it shows YouTube that this theme is relevant and makes more men receive this important warning. It may seem like a click, but for me and for this channel, it's a sign that this content is helping you. And that's what motivates me to keep bringing more videos with truths that no one tells you. Also enjoy and subscribe to the channel, because here we speak open, direct, and without taboo about everything that involves male sexual health, prostate, erection, performance, and self-esteem. You will receive serious content based on real information, without winding and aiming to help you live better, inside and out. And of course, before continuing the revelations that come next, I want to ask you something simple. Comment down here now. Write like this: "I'm together in this," or "I want to recover my control." This comment, and it is just for me. It is for you to affirm this commitment to yourself. And it also serves so that other men who are reading the comments know that they are not alone. who has a lot of people on the same journey, seeking to understand, improve, and win. Because when we share, we inspire, and when we position ourselves, we transform. Then comments, leaves the like, subscribes, and prepares, because what comes next is the most important part. What exactly is behind the failure in male sexual performance and what you need to stop doing right now before it's late. Stay with me, because the truth can sometimes hurt, but it can also free. In recent years, a phenomenon has caught the attention of male health specialists: the dizzying increase in erectile dysfunction in men under 50, something that, until recently, was more common in men of older age. Today is becoming routine in medical offices with young patients, professionally active, but completely lost when it comes to intimate health. And the most worrying thing is that many of these men do not have any installed chronic disease, such as diabetes or hypertension, which shows that the problem is much deeper and much more linked to the lifestyle than imagined. What is happening is a true silent epidemic that begins slowly, almost imperceptible. First comes the tiredness, that constant laziness, the unwillingness even to seek intimate contact with the partner. Then the occasional failures begin. One night or another where the erection does not appear with the same force, or does not remain during the time required. Then comes insecurity, the constant doubt, the self-sabotage, the fear of failing again. And what was supposed to be pleasure becomes anxiety, frustration, shame, and the cycle is only repeated, growing in silence. But what is behind all this? Why is the number of apparently healthy young men growing so much among those who report fall in sexual performance? The answer is in everyday habits. Today, men are increasingly sedentary, spend hours sitting, trapped in screens, living under a constant stress load, with few hours of quality sleep and a highly inflammatory diet. And this is the perfect scenario for the collapse of the male sexual system. Few people say this clearly, but you need to understand, erection is first of all a vascular phenomenon. That's right. What holds a firm, lasting, and satisfactory erection is not just a desire. It is circulation. It is blood flow. It is adequate pressure in the penile arteries. And when your body is inflamed, intoxicated, badly nourished, and with poor circulation, this flow is compromised. The blood does not come with the same force. The vascularization of the penile region suffers. The erectile answer weakens, and you feel on the skin, or rather, in bed, the reflexes of it. And there is more. Another factor that is completely connected to this reality is the state of your prostate. Yes, the prostatic gland also directly interferes with its sexual performance. An increased, inflamed, or compromised prostate can generate not only urinary symptoms such as weak jet, constant willingness to urinate, or incomplete emptying, but it can also affect the quality of your erections. This is because with the gland under stress, the entire male reproductive system is imbalanced. Even many men report pain in the pelvic region, discomfort during ejaculation, and a sudden fall of libido, all linked to changes in the prostate. It is at this moment that many men make the mistake of thinking that all this is just the age coming. But this belief is deceiving you. It is not the age, it's the lifestyle. What's more, it is ignorance about the functioning of the body itself. Because the truth is that modern man has learned to ignore signs, swallowing malaise, normalizing fatigue, saying that everything is fine even when it is not. And this is charging a high price, increasingly high. It is not uncommon to hear reports of men who, when testing, find that they have hormone levels far below ideal, even without apparent diseases. Testosterone, which is essential to maintain desire, energy, muscle mass, and erection health, is being sabotaged by the modern lifestyle. The stressed, inflamed, and badly nourished body begins to produce less testosterone, and without it the performance falls. And with falling performance comes frustration, removal, fear of not realizing, the escape of intimacy. It is a cruel cycle that erodes any man's self-esteem, however confident he is. And the most absurd is that all this starts with small signs that many ignore. That desire to sleep right after dinner, the constant laziness even after a whole night of sleep, the difficulty in maintaining focus, discouragement to TR Einar, the cooling in the relationship, the lack of morning erection. These are the first warnings of the body, and what you do with them determines what will happen to your intimate health in the coming months or years. Because as I said before, the problem does not appear out of nowhere. It is built, day after day, choose after choice. Have you ever stopped to think that your routine may be draining your virility? That every decision you make, what do you eat, how do you sleep, whether or not you exercise, directly influences the health of your penis? And that can keep ignoring this to take you to the point of no return? I know this talk is uncomfortable, but it is necessary, because as long as you don't face the truth, it will continue to consume you inside. It will keep crashing you, frustrating you, keeping you from living what you really deserve. And don't think you're alone. Thousands of men are going through this right now. Strong, successful men, parents, competent professionals, but they don't have the courage to talk about what is happening. Because talking about impotence is still seen as weakness, like taboo, and that needs to end. To talk about male sexual health is to talk about dignity, quality of life, relationship, about self, love. It is giving voice to the body that is asking for help. So now that you already understand what is behind this problem, I want to ask you, have you noticed signals like these in your daily life? Tiredness without explanation, lack of desire, difficulty in maintaining or starting an erection, less energy, urinary changes. If any of these things are happening to you, don't ignore it. Your body is talking, and it is up to you to decide whether to continue silent or to act. And if this content is helping you to see more clearly what may be happening to you or someone close, comments down here, I identified myself, or I'm feeling it and I will change. This shows me that you are really here, committed to your evolution, and even helps other men realize that they are not alone. One man's comment may be the incentive that another needs to start his change. Now that you have understood that the problem is not only at age and that symptoms do not appear by chance, it is time to face the truth that most men prefer to ignore. There is a set of habits that, when repeated daily, act as silent poisons for their sexual health. And the worst of all these poisons, the one who is affecting the performance of thousands of men without their realization, is a dangerous combination. Physical inactivity, bad diet, exaggerated consumption of pornography and masturbation done uncontrolled, without emotional and physical awareness. Does it look exaggeration? I assure you it is not, and you will understand why. Let's start by talking about physical inactivity. You might even think that sitting all day has nothing to do with your erection, but it's all about it. The functioning of the penis depends directly on a good blood circulation. Erection happens when blood flows with intensity to the penile region and remains there with sufficient pressure to maintain rigidity. Now imagine what happens to this system when you spend the whole day sitting, without moving, without stimulating your circulation. The blood stops circulating as it should. The arteries begin to lose flexibility, the pelvic muscles weaken, and over time what was once a firm and spontaneous erection becomes increasingly difficult to achieve. And this is not something that happens only after 50. Men from 30 up to 25 years old are reporting symptoms of erectile dysfunction because they simply no longer move. The body was made to move, and when you stop, everything slows down, including your sex life. When you are sedentary, your metabolism plummets, testosterone level drops, stress increases, cardiovascular resistance weakens, and blood flow to genital areas is increasingly compromised. Sedentary lifestyle is literally a direct enemy of its sexual power. Now let's add one more ingredient to this destructive combo: poor diet. When you consume foods rich in saturated fat, refined sugar, excess sodium, and ultra-processed products, your body goes into a state of constant inflammation. This inflammation reaches the vascular system, impairs hormonal production, and directly affects the prostate, which is one of the most sensitive glands to metabolic imbalances. An inflamed prostate generates discomfort, affects libido, interferes with ejaculation quality, and of course impairs the quality of the erection. In addition, bad diet increases insulin resistance, causes abdominal fat accumulation, which is highly linked to the drop in testosterone, and makes it difficult to produce nitric oxide, an essential compound for the expansion of blood vessels that allow in the erection. When your body does not produce enough nitric oxide, you may even feel desire, but the body simply does not respond the way you should. And here comes frustration, the feeling of impotence. The question, is it psychological? And here's a truth that few have the courage to say: it's not just psychological. Your body is reacting to your habits, and if you keep ignoring it, it may be too late. And as if this already worrying picture was not enough, there is still another villain that needs to be spoken urgently: excess pornography and masturbation done in a mechanical, impulsive, and emotionally disconnected way. This practice, when done in excess and automatically, conditions the brain to stimulus patterns that are completely different from the reality of a real sexual intercourse. The man begins to get used to the fast dopamine, with extreme fantasy, with the image edited and exaggerated. The problem is that in real life this does not happen. And then, when the time comes of intimacy, the brain does not respond the same way, the body does not react, and performance simply collapses. In addition, excessive masturbation, especially when it is done as an emotional escape, to relieve stress, anxiety, or boredom, creates a cycle of dependence and weakens the brain's natural reward system. Pleasure is only obtained by exaggerated stimuli and the real touch. The connection with the partner, the gradual excitement, all loses strength. The consequence is clear: less desire, more failures, less erection, more frustration. And all this mixes with sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, unstressed stress, and hormonal imbalances. Do you understand the size of the problem? This is not a single cause, but a set of destructive habits that, when combined, create the perfect storm. A storm that reaches its power, your trust, your virility. And the worst, this storm begins slowly, almost invisible. It settles in the silence of the routine, in the wrong choices that seem harmless, in the automatic repetitions that corrode the body and mind. The modern man is distracted. It is overwhelmed. He is losing control of his own body because he has not been taught to take care of himself. Sexual performance is not separated from the rest of the health. On the contrary, it is the reflection of your health as a whole. When you have low energy, unregulated sleep, poor diet without movement, and overloaded mind, it is impossible to expect your body to work in high performance. And if you keep doing everything the same, you will continue to have the same results. And here, at this point, I need to ask you a sincere question. How long will you ignore the signs? How long will you accept that this is normal? What happens to everyone? No, it doesn't happen to everyone. It happens to those who repeat the same standards. And you are here exactly because you want to break these standards, because you are looking for answers, because you want to recover control of your virility. So now it's with you. Tell me here in the comments if you have already noticed any of these situations in your daily life. Have you ever fallen into desire? Failures at the time H? Do you feel you are addicted to artificial stimuli? Or that your diet and physical inactivity are dragging you down? Comment down here, "I recognize and change," or "I've been through it." Your message can play another man who is lost and needs courage to start. By this time, you already understood that your sexual performance is not just about luck or moments. It is a direct reflection of how you treat your body every day. And now that you know what is sabotaging your virility, the most important time has come. What to do in practice to avoid this silent collapse that so many men are facing. Because yes, it has a way. And no, you don't need miraculous remedies or invasive interventions. The recovery of its power begins with simple daily habits and totally possible to implement. What is still missing is not medicine. It is attitude. It is a decision. And if there is one thing that needs to enter your life urgently, it is the movement. Daily physical exercise is one of the most powerful pillars to restore your sexual health, your energy, your disposition, and control over your own body. When you move, you activate the circulation. And as I explained to you before, erection is a vascular phenomenon. The better the blood flow, the better your ability to achieve and maintain a firm, lasting, and spontaneous erection. Regular exercise, especially those who work the muscles of core, legs, and pelvic floor, improves vessel function, increases nitric oxide production, balances hormones, and even reduces stress, which is one of the great villains of sexual performance. No need to become a marathon runner, just start. Walk aria, bicycle, lightweight bodybuilding, stretching. The important thing is to take the body out of stagnation. Its penis depends on oxygen, nutrients, active vascularization, and that only comes with movement. Stop body is inflamed body. Inflamed body is reduced desire, weak erection, and frustrated sex life. Then move. Put the body to work, and you will see how everything around you starts to work better as well. But it is no use moving the body and continuing to feed it as if it were a toxin deposit. Your diet needs to change. And I don't speak of diet of fashion or exaggerated restriction. I speak of consciousness. I speak to stop putting in things that ignite, unbalance your hormones, and compromise your prostate. The focus now should be in an anti-inflammatory diet, a diet rich in foods that favor circulation, protect blood vessels, and take care of the health of the prostate. And here I speak to include more tomatoes, broccoli, olive oil, seeds, such as pumpkin, omega sources 3, such as fish and nuts. These are foods that help maintain balanced hormone levels, reduce oxidative stress, increase the production of natural testosterone, and further improve the quality of semen, ejaculation, and sexual response as a whole. Avoid excess sugar, white flour, fried foods, and ultra-processed products. They not only inflame the body but also increase abdominal fat, which is an estrogen factory in the male body, and reduce testosterone levels, the main hormone of virility. Do you want power? Then start with the plate. Each fork is a choice between being a functional man or a frustrated man. Each meal is a decision between strengthening its prostate or inflammating it further. Another fundamental and urgent point is the control over pornography consumption. I know it's a sensitive theme, but if we don't talk about it here, let's keep pretending that it's okay when in fact it's not. Excessive pornography, especially automatic, purposeless consumption, makes your brain create an unreal stimulation pattern. He gets used to strong, fast images, situations that have nothing to do with real life. And the result of this is simple. When the time of true sex, with touch, smelling, with emotional involvement, the body simply does not respond the same way. Excitation does not come. Erection does not remain. Pleasure does not happen with the same intensity. You need to recover control over your own desire, reduce pornography consumption, set boundaries, and, more than that, resignify masturbation. It does not have to be a problem if done consciously, in moderation, without guilt, and without compulsion. Masturbation may be a tool for connecting your body, but you should never replace human contact, real intimacy, and real exchange with a partner. Balance is the word. Speaking of balance, you can't talk about sexual health without touching one of the most neglected factors: sleep and stress. Sleeping well is absolutely essential for hormonal production. It is during deep sleep that the body releases the largest peaks of testosterone. If you sleep badly, wake up several times, go to sleep late, and wake up exhausted, your body has no time to regenerate, to balance the systems. Result: falling libido, weak erections, constant tiredness, and a sense of exhaustion that affects all areas of your life. Taking care of sleep hygiene is as important as taking care of food and training. And the stress? The stress. This is perhaps the quietest poison of all. The man who lives under constant pressure, who swallows everything silent, who does not breathe right, who is worried, tensioned, annoyed, is producing excessive cortisol. And excess cortisol drops testosterone, erodes his energy, and destroys his ability to feel pleasure. So take time for you. Disconnect from the cell phone. Meditate. Breathe. Allow yourself to relax. For a man in peace is a powerful man. A tense man, even with a strong body, does not perform as he could. And finally, but not least, go to the doctor. Make your checkups. Perform hormonal tests. Evaluate your prostate. Measure your levels of testosterone, vitamin D, PSA, cholesterol. Many men avoid these tests out of fear of what they can find. But what really scares is what we stop discovering in time. Information is power. Knowing where you are is the first step to decide where you want to go. So if you really want to recover your power, you need to act. There is no more space for excuses. The solution is not in a miracle remedy, an expensive capsule, or a motivational video. The solution is what you do every day. You are on your plate, your sleep, your training, your choices. It's on you. And if this video helped you in any way, if you opened your mind, touched some pain, comment below. I will take care of my power, or I'm changing my habits now. This will show me that you have been here and that you are committed to your transformation. It will also inspire other men who are reading the comments and may only need a push to start. If you got here, congratulations. This shows that you are a man who cares about his own health, his performance, his virility, and the full control of your body. and just watched until the end, you are already a few steps ahead of the majority. Now, I want to invite you to be part of this community of conscious men who are not running away from the subject and who are looking for real evolution. So you do the following. You subscribe to the channel right now. Here you will find direct videos without winding with everything you need to know about prostate health, sexual performance, testosterone, habits, food, and more. True information which transforms. If this content has helped you in any way, leave your like. It's a quick click, but it helps this video reach more men who are going through the same difficulties and need, like you, a push to change. And now, comment below. I went to the end and I will take care of my intimate health. This comment shows that you are committed to yourself and inspire other men who will see your message and motivate yourself along the same way. And don't leave. Already click on the next video that is appearing there now, because it is the perfect continuation of this theme. There I show you the signs your body gives when your testosterone is falling, and what to do to reverse it naturally. I hope you're there. Let's go together on this journey.